What's up, gang, and welcome back to another edition of Road Trippin' with the Rudes.
Hi, guys. And if this is your first time tuning in, thank you so much. Please be sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and like this video. We will have more hits coming your way. And today is our Rudes Real Review of Lin-Manuel Miranda's
In the Heights. I got the Dominican Poppy swag going on. You feel me, Big Poppy? What up?
Guys, so if this is your first time tuning into a real review, we discuss the entire thing, so there will be spoilers. We do not discuss with each other what we think. We wait until we can talk to you. So we look forward to those comments and feedback. If you have heard the name Lin-Manuel Miranda, or if it sounds familiar, it's because that is the brainchild behind Hamilton.
And Moana.
Yes, and Moana, the soundtrack. But if you love Hamilton and you have not seen our real review, we'll be sure to include that in the video.
Yes.
The Heights. All right,
to me.
Let's get started. So it starts with Usnavi telling a story to a bunch of children about his father's El Sueñito, which is Little Dream. It was giving me Aladdin vibes. Like in the beginning of the new Aladdin.
Okay, yeah.
We have a review of that too, but that definitely gave me that vibe, right?
Yeah.
And then you see Usnavi waking up in the morning, doing his morning routine. I love the fact that he stops and says, best day. Or like, shout out to SpongeBob, best day ever. But,
Yeah.
you know, like just speaking that into existence. He kisses his abuela, Claudia, which is a grandmother in Spanish, and heads up to open up his store, which is a corner store in the Heights. So Washington Heights in New York, which is all the way up Manhattan, like past Harlem, right? I'm telling you this much. Shout out to all the bodegas and corner stores. I don't know how you guys survived the pandemic, but I miss them. And it was giving me all the feels.
Yeah.
It starts off with a bang. We meet his cousin, Sonny, who helps him with the store, his younger cousin. We meet his best friend, Benny. And all of this is them hitting those tunes, right? I mean, if you know Hamilton and you know that energy, you know it's kind of like almost like a freestyle type cipher. You weren't feeling it?
Yeah, it was to me. I'm gonna keep it a buck. It was Listen, it was a lot of culture in it. I love the culture. Now listen, I love the culture in it. Guys,
I am confusion.
Listen, the first 8-minute trailer told me a little story that I thought was gonna be a little better than what it was. So, it was to me. The story was Let me put it like that.
So, guys,
the singing, the songs, some of them were good, some of them weren't. Let's keep it 100. You know what I mean? He didn't hit it out the park. Hamilton hit it out the park.
So,
but this one, it's okay. It's watchable.
I want to say this.
One time.
I want to say this. So, there's so much to dissect in what Corey just said. I did not expect this. So,
I know you did.
So, for you to say it's watchable, the first 8 minutes, just so you know, The Heights is in theaters now. It's also available on HBO Max. So HBO Max released the first 8 minutes. And they did that on a few movies.
Yeah, they did like Mortal Kombat. All that stuff.
They did that on a few movies.
You can watch the first 8 minutes and be satisfied and just leave it at that. And that's me. That's me to you. Keeping it 100. Real review out here, right? We haven't had one of these where we disagreed on a movie in a minute. You don't know how to feel.
It's wild because it's June and July.
This is
definitely
facts.
lie.
Listen, it's going to be overhyped because you know how y'all do. Y'all like it. Oh, it's Hamilton 2.0 though. Nah. That joint ain't Hamilton 2.0. I'm gonna keep it real.
No, it wasn't Hamilton, and I think
that was
that's what I love about it. I'm gonna say this. I don't think you were rocking with Hamilton as hard as you thought you were the first time around.
man.
I think there was a lot that you missed, all of us, because it was coming fast, right?
Nah.
I know. I think Hamilton is one of those that you love the more you watch it.
Hamilton, I'm like, okay, let's rewatch it. The bars are coming. I think because it was actual dialogue in this and it wasn't singing the entire movie, it was more of a musical, you know what I mean? Versus Hamilton, like, the dialogue was singing the entire show. So maybe that was the difference for me.
And I don't know. I thought the casting was amazing.
Yeah,
so you had
the story was a little weak though.
Usnavi, who was Hamilton. If you watched Hamilton, he played Philip, Alexander Hamilton's son. I thought Anthony was great.
Yeah, two roles. He was Philip and he was one of his homies.
Yes.
Early in the movie, I forgot who it was, but yeah.
I'm
correcting you. That's your movie.
No. I will say this. So it's Anthony Ramos plays Usnavi, and if you've watched Hamilton, you've seen him. If you've watched
She's Gotta Have It,
the series, you've seen him play Mars, which that was an amazing story because
that was to me the first role I've seen him in.
Yes, because we didn't see Hamilton yet, and when Spike found them, they were off Broadway. And Anthony tells a story where he literally thought it was a prank call.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't know the number, so it went to voicemail. I know that feeling. And he hears the voicemail say, "Hey, Anth, it's Spike. Call me."
Right.
"Hey, Spike, call us. Call us. You want us to review your movies? Call us."
Yeah, if you want to do it in Harlem or something, you know what I mean? Let me get on that joint.
Good Lord. And then Benny, which is Corey Hawkins. And everyone's going to call him Dr. Dre, because he did play Dr. Dre in NWA, but he also played in Kong.
Yeah.
Right? Skull Island. So he was great with that. I didn't know he could sing. And he was actually on Broadway before.
Can he sing?
Yes. I think you're really I think your hate is up.
He can carry a tune.
I think you're...
He can't sing. He can carry a tune.
Do you know how much
saying.
energy it takes to be on Broadway and to perform at that level?
Okay. I ain't hearing him hitting
That's
no high.
not
I ain't
karaoke.
no notes.
That's not... I don't know. Guys, I'm going to go through this because I want to highlight some of the things that I liked, and I guess Corey will slap me down or knock me down with it.
Yeah, let's go. I'm ready. I got counter arguments.
So be it. You're still at the corner store. You see this camaraderie between Sonny, Usnavi, and Benny, and then you see Usnavi's crush come in, Vanessa, who is an aspiring fashion designer who works at the local beauty salon, Daniela's beauty salon, and it is very clear. Like to me, I think the character development for each of these is so clear because you have everyone in your hood with these different mindsets, right? So you have Usnavi, who in the beginning is talking about his father's bar in Dominican Republic and how he wants to go back. So you have people that came to this country at a young age, like Usnavi, and they're just saving up to go back home, right? That's home to them. Then you have people like Vanessa that have bought into the American dream hardcore and thinks, I want to move out of the hood. Right? You've got Benny, who wants to keep it in the hood, wants to work his way up, wants to, get promotions and stay local. He's working at a car service, which is owned by Mr. Rosario, which is played by Jimmy Smits, which, shout out to that. I really love this cast.
Yeah, no, it was a good cast. I mean, it was a feel-good movie, trying to make you feel warm and fuzzy on the inside.
It did it for me because I remember the first time seeing Jimmy Smits, I think it was NYPD Blue or Law and Order, and it was a big deal because he was representing, right? So he was a Latino in a big role, and it wasn't like slapstick, like, I'm sorry guys, you can come for me in the comments, but like chips.
John Leguizamo. Oh,
Like
I thought
chips.
that's what I thought you was about to say.
No.
Eric Estrada.
Eric Estrada. So I, like to see him in there.
I thought you was gonna say John Leguizamo in New York Undercover.
Except John Leguizamo wasn't in New York Undercover, so I'm thoroughly confused, guys. So I thought that was great, and then to see Daniela and her partner Carla, to see that relationship and the beauty salon, and anybody that like knows anything about the beauty salon knows that that's your home, right? That's the place to be. You meet Nina, who is Mr. Rosario's daughter, and she is also represented as someone in the hood. She's the child that the parents put all their stock in and sent her off to college. And it's one of those, we all have those parents, or we all know those children whose parents lived vicariously through them and really didn't ask them what they wanted. Mm-hmm. That was the energy.
But I think she wanted that. But once she got there, she's like, this ain't what I really thought it was all cracked up to be. That's how I took it.
Well, I think because it's something about just blatant racism in your face by microaggression, right? Mm-hmm. She goes to a dinner party and because she got accepted to Stanford, and she goes to a dinner party and they assume she's the staff, right? And they hand a plate into her face.
Yeah.
Right? And so she has that in many other moments. And I think we've all been there. I'm on the board of an organization, a nonprofit organization that means a lot to me. And yes, there have been times that people have asked if I was a participant. Mm-hmm. And I love the women that are in the program, but no, I am not a homeless woman looking for shelter. But that was just assumed.
Right.
So, to me, it hit different. This movie hit different. This movie was like, okay, you're seen. I'm glad it was Lin-Manuel Miranda. I wouldn't have wanted it anyone else. Like those...
Lin-Manuel Miranda making cameos like he's Stan Lee.
I'm here for it. I'm definitely here for it. Like, I don't like when stories are told by someone that doesn't have the perspective.
Yeah, of course, right.
Right? So he is a true, he is straight from Nueva York, right? He is a true New Yorker.
I wouldn't be able to tell that story because it would be a short story. It would just be me going to the heist to get some piragua. Period. In the movie.
First of all, for the record, we do stop and get water ice a lot of times. I love coquitos, and
the shaved ice.
Will always stop. He does shaved ice. I will always stop for coquitos. So, to me, I thought it was amazing to see, and it wasn't generic, right? It wasn't like, okay, we'll just do this story of a Latinx implanted here, doing this, doing that. No, you had Dominican Republic represented, you had Cuba represented, you had even someone shouted out El Salvador. Of course, you had Puerto Rico, right?
Oh.
You had the representation there of the different cultures and also their stories of how they got to Nueva York. Mm-hmm. I will absolutely be listening to the soundtrack often. I felt like the beats were on point. The lyrics were on point. The dance moves were amazing.
Dancing was good.
I don't know. I will say this much too. I noticed like the nods to Hamilton and the little Easter eggs weaved in and out. Lynn as Stan Lee, as you said, as the Piragua man. And, George Washington as the Mr. Softy man. I was here for it. Mm-hmm. I loved watching... I
feel like him and Anthony are his muses. Those two guys.
Yeah, but I feel like there's a genuine friendship there, right? Mm-hmm. So, like, and we keep referencing Spike Lee, and I will do that a lot here, and here's why. in school days, mind you, I was like too young to be in college at the time. But School Days is some movie, and Do the Right Thing, another movie that took place in Brooklyn.
Yeah, I'm about to turn on
and
School Days
Kirkland, right?
after
So
that.
those are movies that I can go back to and feel seen. Right? So there is a scene here, the beauty salon scene, and it was giving me School Days, Good or Bad Hair vibes.
I know, yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
That energy was great, and you have that feeling of, okay, someone sees me.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was interesting that throughout the movie, you have several storylines. You have Usnavi, who's looking to save enough money to get out and go back to Dominican Republic. You have Vanessa, who's again trying to, be a fashion designer, and she wants to move out of Washington Heights and wants to move uptown, right? You have the story.
She wants to move downtown.
Downtown. Yeah, she wants to move downtown. You have the story of Abuelita Claudia, who's just getting her affairs in order. You have Mr. Rosario, who's struggling to put his daughter through Stanford. But that's what he wants, because he didn't even get to graduate high school, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have Nina, who's like, yo, this is not what I want, or I think the pressure is a lot, and your first year of college is a lot. So I was here for all of the storylines. I was here for Benny and Nina's love affair and that energy. But I say this, as
maybe it was the energy, the typical New York energy. Oh, nothing's like New York. I need to be here. Yeah, that's what I wasn't feeling. Man, come on. I'm just saying. I'm just telling the truth.
I'm thoroughly confused because, listen.
I'm just telling the truth.
I saw the Hamilton Easter eggs. I loved watching Nina. When she came back from Stanford, her hair was bone straight. It wasn't even styled. It was very simple, very plain, very
that's fresh off the plane.
Very code, right? There are times when you only show a part of yourself because you don't want all eyes on you. Mm-hmm. And throughout the movie, Nina gets more comfortable with herself. Mm-hmm. Her hair changes. It goes from styled to curly to braids to the diversity. That is very much a Latin thing.
Yeah, no, I peeped that.
I love the scene again at the beauty shop when, Daniela, who I haven't seen her playing anything, but I was here for it. And I thought she was like a standout. And I loved how she talked about, listen, we survived slave ships. We survived Taino genocide, which is the Taino, they were referred to as Taino Indians, were the natives of Puerto Rico. And I know this because my titi made it very clear, we are descendants of the Taino. Mm-hmm. Like, she made sure that you knew that. So that, the conquistadors, and she spoke about the history. Mm-hmm. And that's very important to discuss the Afro-Latino aspect of things, which was very much hidden for so long. If you look at Colombia, you look at Brazil, you look at places like that.
I mean, her first statement was, we were slaves. Yeah, we were on a slave ship.
Well, I think you still have certain people that are in denial about that, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. Like, we're not all of us are of Spaniard descent.
Yeah,
thank you very much.
From
right?
Spain.
No, mm-hmm. very, very few of us are.
Yeah.
But, some people just desire that. I liked listening to some of the beats. They were reminiscent of Hamilton, so those Easter eggs. I loved, again, the beauty shop scene. Tell me something I don't know.
My scene was the club scene. Now, that scene I can get down with, a little bit. Because nobody would have came up to Nicole and just took her out on the dance floor. I'm sorry. That wouldn't have happened.
He's being ridiculous,
The club would have been closed after that moment.
He's being ridiculous. Let me tell you. Can we talk about Mark Anthony's scene? Did it make you think of anything?
No, it did not. But let me hear what you thought.
First of all, Mark Anthony was only in the movie for like a millisecond, right? He was looking like the Puerto Rican Johnny Depp to me. He was giving me that vibe. But he was downtrodden, beaten down. He looked the part. He sold me on the part so much in such a little time. It gave me Donnie Wahlberg in Sixth Sense vibes. Like that, just striking that short amount of time, but you were glued to that person. That was, Mark Anthony killed that role. Also, you know what it was too? So, Donnie Wahlberg in Sixth Sense and Snoop Dogg and Baby Boy. Like, just you remember those characters.
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
So, I was definitely, man, I was here for that. The one thing too about Sunny, I loved watching Sunny's story because, this whole time, Usnavi is like, I'm going to DR. So he finally is able to buy his father's property. Mm-hmm. He tells Abuela Claudia, who is not his biological grandmother, but she is the neighborhood grandmother.
Yeah, she's the grandmom on the block.
She's the place you go to on Sunday for dinner.
Yeah.
Can we talk about that dinner?
Can we talk about that dinner? I'm actually, what's, I'm going to call him Dr. Dre, but what was Dr. Dre's name?
Benny.
I'm Benny. I'm at the Puerto Ricans or the Latinos' crib, and I'm eating up all the food, now, all the beans and rice.
Abuela Claudia was actually Cuban, but I will say this, guys.
That's why I said Latino.
Yes, I will say this, guys. If you follow us on Instagram, be sure to check our stories. If you don't follow us on Instagram, do so now, because what I will do is I will drop some recipes in our stories. And so the pernil, which is the roast pork, I will drop my recipe in there.
Ooh.
They spoke about coquito, which is a traditional holiday drink. But in honor of the Heights and my love to the Heights, we will release that video. We keep it in the vault until the holidays, but we're going to break that out.
Okay.
So if you want a little bit of Latin love in your food, be sure to check us out at Road Trippin' with the Roots.
Yeah.
We'll do that.
Yeah.
That food scene just gave me everything. It made me think of...
When I seen that chicken and the rice...
So when I was little... my Titi Pastora, Titi Tore, who is my mother's aunt, used to make this chicken stew. That was like the most amazing chicken stew, but it had the rice already in it.
See.
And even when, after we moved from New York, we moved to Pennsylvania, my mother always went to visit her titi and pay her respects. She was home.
Did we see any patelillos? That's what I'm talking about right there, dude.
They had pateles, not patelillos.
Oh, yeah,
no.
I need the patelillos.
Which, patelillos...
That was my introduction.
Yeah?
Yeah, that was my introduction.
When did you start? From me or no?
No, come on. Come on, yo.
Okay, so if you don't know what patelillos are... They're called patelillos in Puerto Rico. Other nations know them as empanadas.
Yeah.
And they're...
No, I was a teenager when I was introduced to those, so I was like, oh, yeah.
So, the food scene, it was just taking me back. It was really taking me back. So I loved it. And I loved her wisdom. We don't have that neighborhood grandma, abuela anymore. And I think that's a lot of what kids are missing now. Mm-hmm. So I thought it was great to see that.
Well, the mass exodus out of the hood in most of our, towns and things.
Yeah.
Kind of messed that up because now you're in a subdivision and all that. You know what I mean? You can't walk to the corner store.
Right.
Yeah,
so
that's something that's lost.
A lot of us then are in the role of Vanessa, thinking, "Oh, I want to get out."
Yeah.
Right.
Sometimes you got to get out, though.
I don't know.
That's a story for another day.
I don't know.
Oh, no.
Because as I'm thinking, like what, which character did you resonate most with?
I just told you, Benny.
Just on the... I know, I'm not talking about the food part. I'm talking about on the strength of, kind of where their mind was.
The person that I really related to the most would be Rosario. Personally. Okay. I can understand as a dad.
So Victor Rosario.
Yeah, I can understand as a dad, I'm going to sell everything to get my daughter through whatever she needs to get through. You know what I'm saying? So that I resonated with that the most.
Yeah. No, that makes sense to me. So here was the one thing, though, that I thought about with Victor Rosario and his daughter going away to Stanford. How do you prepare your child for racism? And let me make this very clear. If you are not of Latin heritage and you think, well, do they face racism? First of all, the Latin on Latin hate within communities, I hope we do better with that. But also, yes, there are these assumptions. And I love the fact that when she's saying, Daddy, they thought I was a server and they shoved the plate at me. And he said, there's no shame in serving. So he deflected away from them. And it's not how could they. It's, you know what? They lack the basic respect and paying homage to the roots, to the ancestors, really. So I thought that was interesting. There are racial slurs and racism, and I don't know. That's what I was thinking the whole time. I felt her anguish, and Nina being like, F this, I just want to stay home. Right? I don't want to people.
Well, you know, some people just try to make fun of what they don't understand. That's their way of getting around it, right? Like, I don't understand this, but I'm going to make fun of it. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's where it kind of starts for me with the racism tip. But
I think even if you're not of Latin descent, you can resonate with someone in this movie. I think there was someone for everyone. For me, I think Usnavi was my guy. It's like, it's time to get out of here. And then it's like, man, I really love this place, but it's time to move.
No, I like him too.
You know, where we live, the ignorance has been on steroids. You know, I think things are calming down. I don't know. And I haven't been outside much, guys. But for me, it is that, you know, like I said, past few years, just in the town that we live in, it's kind of jarring. And I don't know how to have that conversation with our girls because you don't want to impact the way they look at people just because of the way people look at them.
Right.
So when Nina was talking about being searched, and I've never told you this story, but I used to babysit in high school, and I babysat for a woman and her husband. Her and her husband got divorced, but I still babysat. The woman happened to be white. She was, with the divorce, she ended up getting a roommate. Anyway, I fell asleep. Her and her roommate come in after a night of festivities, right? Drinking. Anyway, I guess the roommate couldn't find a ring. And they accused me, not the one that I babysat for years, but the roommate did.
Oh.
And asked to check my stuff.
What'd you say?
I was dumbfounded. I was woken up because I was going to stay over. And I was woken up, and I was a kid. I was 14, 15. And I just remember being so hurt that the woman didn't speak up for me. And was like, let me just check your bags. And obviously, I didn't take the ring. And I babysat for them for years. I was the only babysitter that the little girl knew. I never went back. Right? So that resonated with me, that story.
Yeah.
Because I remember just being shocked. Like, the assumption was, like, you come home, you're drunk, and instead of looking for whatever piece of jewelry the ring was, you just assume that I took it.
You think it was because your race?
I didn't realize it then, but now the undertones were pretty overtoned.
Because you could have that argument of, you know, teenager, you know, you needed some money, teenagers still, I'm just asking.
No.
What vibe did you get?
No, it was I don't know. It was a very, very foul energy.
Yeah, that's just me playing devil's advocate, but I know better. But I was just saying.
It's foul. It was very foul energy. So you have the club scene. You loved the club scene.
Club scene was my scene.
The music was good.
The music was good.
There was a power outage.
Power outage. That's my alley too. That's my lane.
Let me tell you, the courtyard scene where everybody was repping their set. You heard about Mexico, Cuba, Dominican Republic. Benny came through with the Jamaican flag. One time for that. We'll be sure to include our tour of Jamaica in there. One thing that was interesting was that we saw, and I could see the expression on your face, the refrigerator outside, right? And she was in Orange is the New Black. Mm-hmm. And she goes, oh, this is a ghetto Gilligan's Island.
Yeah, before she said that, though, when you seen the refrigerator outside, I'm like, that's not really ghetto. That's just the culture. You know what I mean? But you want to turn what we do in the culture and say it's ghetto.
Can we stop doing that, guys? Like, how is it that it's ghetto and then it becomes a life hack in someone else's hands? Mm-hmm. Let's stop degrading our culture or things that we do and considering them ghetto. Can we just get rid of that narrative within ourselves? Because we already know it's ghetto until it becomes trendy. And we deserve more.
Facts.
One of the most moving scenes for me was when Doña Claudia or Abuela Claudia goes to lay down and, guys, retells the story of her life and takes us back to Cuba and kind of, he's genius with the way he does things. When you think of Hamilton and you think of the fact that he had a person representing a bullet, right? That was the energy it gave me. And the attire...
I like the pool party too, by the way.
The pool party was lit, yes. The attire that the people on the train wore was absolutely ancestral. Absolutely old slave. You know, the all white. Can we talk about the hair wraps? Because I was here for the uses of scarves and things like that. And she tells her story... about her mother coming here with nothing because Cuba was so bad at the time.
So look, as I'm sitting here, I'm realizing, so a lot of this stuff resonated with you and, you know, your history, right? So that's why you like it so much. The scenes that I like is because I can relate to them. You can relate to all of these scenes for the most part, right? Mm-hmm. So as I'm sitting here, I'm like, dang, maybe it is a good movie to Nicole because she can... you know, relate to these scenes. So what I'm saying is the pool scene. I was a lifeguard, right? So I like that scene. The club scene. I mean, you know, I can cut a rug. So I like the club scene. And then after the club scene, well, then, you know, the power outage. I'm the power guy, right? And then they go outside and shoot fireworks, which is also my thing. Yeah. So that's... I
don't know. He touched on a lot of things that, you know, a fun fact about me, I was born during the summer of Sam, and I was born in May, and then the famous New York City outage occurred in August.
No, I'm just saying.
Shout out to my parents. They couldn't get a break that summer.
So as I'm sitting here in real time, I realized, okay, this is why Nicole thinks it's so good. Now, I couldn't resonate. None of them other scenes really... resonated with me other than the Rosarios.
The dad moment. See, Ella loved it. Ella was dancing the whole time. She was connected to it the whole time.
Well, she's just the music. She's a music person. Yeah. Like, music definitely makes her move. It doesn't matter what it is.
I will say this. If you have not spent any time in New York and you're like... what are they doing with fire hydrants? First of all, have you ever seen DMX's How's It Going Down video? But that's definitely, I don't know if it still is a thing, but when I was little, it was a thing. Like, you scrape the can and, you know, there was somebody operating the fire hose. That was like, that was New York City's first sprinklers, right? Yeah. I think they now have splash pads at all of the parks. We were just in the city.
I think the city does it now. Like,
yeah, the city has a splash. Yeah. Well, they do the splash pads. Like,
no, with the hydrants too, though.
I don't know.
Yeah, I do believe.
I don't know. But we were in the city. Be sure to check out our Harry Potter tour. We'll leave that link up there.
And you know what? We're going to come with some city flavor again.
Yes.
We got another vlog coming.
That dance scene, like, for me, I think of New York. I think of handball. I think of...
Which they were at they walked past the handball court.
Yes.
When Benny was singing too.
Yes.
His little flame.
I think of coquitos. I think of basketball courts. I think of fire hydrants. I think of pigeons.
Oh, man.
Guys, so we don't have pigeons here. And I remember taking...
We do, but very few.
Very few, right? So taking Ava to New York, and she was like 3 or 4, and we were at a playground, and she saw a pigeon and lost her mind because, guys, she definitely thought she was Bert, and that pigeon was Bernice. Shout out to Sesame Street. So she's like, come here, pigeon, pigeon. I'm like, it is a rat with wings.
New York City pigeons are different, just like everything else, right? Our pigeons will fly away when you walk towards them. No. These pigeons is like, yo, I was here first.
Or about that life. I'm like, Ava, please get away. And she's like trying to go towards it. And I know that pigeon is not moving. Right? So I just scoop her up. That was the first time she saw a black squirrel, which thoroughly freaked her out too. Mm-hmm. But to me, and it ends up with guy gets the girl. It touches on Sonny dealing with immigration issues, which is so timely for today. Mm-hmm. To me, there were so many levels. And full disclaimer, I've watched it twice already. I will be watching it a third.
I will not.
I think you're selling yourself short.
No, I'm not.
I think you should watch it one more time, just because maybe there's some things that you didn't hear in the lyrics. So there is an end credit scene, which, I mean, he did it again. It's amazing. And at the end of the day, guys, you can scrape by. Just remember that. I was here for it. Overall, I don't know what to do with Corey's hate. I'm confused.
No, I kept it real. From my perspective. You know what I mean?
Because for me, it was more, I love Hamilton. And I'll never, I love Hamilton. But this was more relatable.
Yeah, I get that. But, for me to sit through a play about our forefathers and I can sit through the entire thing and enjoy it, that's on another level. Where, you in the heights,
Here's what Corey missed, too. The entire time that Usnavi is speaking about his story, it's completely a usual suspect moment. You see parts of the movie throughout. So he's speaking to his, to the children around him, and you see a green crab walk by. That is the green crab that Sonny painted in the mural of the corner store.
Yeah, that's really what set me off. That was corny. That's what really said, oh, I'm out. I got all the way to the end for this corny ending.
What was corny about the ending?
Man, he should have went to DR, bruh. Just go ahead and go to DR, my man.
I think then you go back to, do you stay and develop the hood or do you run away from the hood? He said it. And I think that's what I'm saying. Listen to the lyrics.
He's bring the hood with me.
If I leave, who's going to tell our story?
Sonny, because his ass couldn't leave New York. Sonny will tell the story.
Listen. Abuela Claudia took care of everyone. That is the way to transition, right? Making sure all your affairs are in order. Leaving gifts, not debt. Okay? GoFundMes are not insurance policies. She did it right. And I was here for it. It felt like, it felt like, for me, it felt like a blanket straight out the dryer. It just was cozy. And it just made sense. So, how many tire tracks do you give her?
Man, listen. 2.5, maybe 3.
Comment down below if you agree with Corey.
Somebody got to. I know I got one person with me. Come on.
I mean, this is like
Blasphemous.
He brought the heights to an all new low. I am confused.
Listen.
For me, it was a absolutely a solid 4 tire tracks.
Okay.
From Pirelli tires.
Oh my God. My joints is wagon wheels then.
This is top tier to me. This is top tier stuff. I was really happy with it. I loved everybody's looks. You see, I'm giving you a little spice here. I don't know. I will say this. After the Heights, after Hamilton, does Lin-Manuel Miranda just fade to black? Because I don't know what you do from here.
Nah, he even before that, he had stuff exactly like that. Remember the play we watched? Little snippets of with Anthony in it? I mean, he has these bangers already in the clips.
I don't know. The Heights is definitely... Comment down below what you thought about The Heights. Comment down below if you are someone that can listen to the soundtrack when you're not watching the movie. Shout out to Cruella DeVille.
Now,
that's been in heavy rotation. We'll include our review there. Guys,
anytime that soundtrack is played, I gotta put the noise cancellation headphones on.
Guys, if you've enjoyed this time of watching me in sheer befuddlement...
Hey.
And Corey's opinion and our interactions, and haven't done so already, what you waiting for? Subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Like this video. We will have more reviews coming your way. We have more travels coming your way. And I think Corey needs to spend some time in the Heights.
Yo, maybe my expectations was too high. Maybe that's what it was. I don't know, but
New Yorkers are looking at you like, what did you expect from the Heights? Yeah. This is the highest the Heights can get, actually.
Nah, you know me. I'm from 125th Street. You feel me? Bring it to Harlem. Harlem Shake. Yeah. Take that. That's where I'm from.
Anyway, guys, thanks again for tuning in. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Start the conversation and be sure to comment down below. And until the next time, guys.
Keep tripping.
Bye, guys.